everyone, it's Linda here, and I'm on with Ness today, who gives us the 411 astrology based and some of her hits.
hmm
And I
hmm
love that green on you, that's very pretty.
I was gonna say I love the salmon on you. We're matching, folks. We got
Thank
the
you,
memo.
thank you. So, girlfriend, we today's MLK Day.
hmm
His actual birthday was on Thursday.
Yes.
And were you astrologically going to talk about him, or you
I
want
didn't think
me?
about that. I'm curious with your abilities, if you want to connect with him and if he has any message. You and I are both, raised or in the Bay Area, and the civil rights movement is very important in the Bay Area in
Yeah,
terms
I
of.
lived it. I lived it. I was in high school, I think, when he was murdered,
Oh wow.
and the riots that took place. Do you remember that there was tons of riots?
Yes.
You weren't alive yet,
No,
right?
I was not alive for that, but I read about it.
Uh, there was big riots. It was very sad.
Yeah.
Um, and then Bobby died after that. Bobby was assassinated. It was a
Yeah.
weird time when you're young.
Yeah.
But when we just started talking about him, he's appreciating, how the United States is, Trump tried to get rid of MLK Day. He didn't want that,
Oh wow.
because he's a black man.
Yes.
And he's almost saying he doesn't want us to celebrate his birthday. It's almost weird, like,
Don't focus on it.
yeah, he's like, thank you, but no thank you.
Mm,
And he wants us to concentrate on his message, which was peace,
mhm.
peaceful protests, peace. He was killed by hate, and try your best to just keep putting peace out there. Like, he doesn't want the people in Minnesota to act out.
Yeah. It's
Be at
so,
peace. Be peaceful protests. Don't give these bullies the upper hand.
hmm yeah. He really pioneered that nonviolent,
Did he
protesting.
smoke cigarettes?
I believe so. Yeah, actually, yeah.
Because he just did this. And I thought, oh, I didn't know he smoked.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
everybody smoked back then, right?
Yeah, it was one of those I remember watching episodes of Mad Men, and yeah, everyone is kind of is just
I went
smoking.
to was it the Lorraine Motel where he was murdered?
Mhm,
I
mhm,
was there. They have a big museum,
mhm,
and you can go out, and they have a plexiglass in the room they were actually in,
mhm.
where he had slept. The bed is still messed up, and things are on the table. I'm sure they're not the original
But
coffee
just to
food,
recreate it, kind
but
of,
it's
yeah.
but it you can see, and I remember seeing ashtrays.
Yeah.
But then you can look and you can see the patio. You can't step onto the patio, but the patio where he died. And somebody talked about the shot that took him away. And if I recall, it wasn't to the head;
I think it was to the
it was
chest.
to the throat,
Oh, to the throat. Oh,
because
oh.
they could see his insides of his throat, and the blood was, yeah.
Wow. That just made me think of yeah, okay, very interesting.
But and then we went across the street to the building where the killer had parked himself in a bathroom,
Oh wow.
and it was all encased, so you couldn't go
Yeah.
there. And you could see even the gun that shot him is at the
Yeah.
museum. And technically, I can tell you, I did not feel him at all there.
Hmm.
He's not hanging out there.
Hmm.
But
Okay.
the only place that I ever visit that was historical, that I could feel
The
the
person there.
energy,
Yeah.
was the Windsor Hotel. I even saw the old lady. We went to her bedroom and a tour, and I saw her body in like a black mass going real fast through the room.
Oh
And when we
wow.
went down to where they kept the horses, stable,
Yes. Yes.
I was down in the stables. All of a sudden, I got so sick to my
Is
stomach, a horrible headache.
is Windsor Hotel the person who had the guns? The woman who made the gun?
Yes.
Okay.
Is
Okay.
it called
Okay.
the Windsor? What is it called? It's a
Worcester,
museum.
Westchester. It's the one in San Jose, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Winchester.
Winchester, I think. Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
about right. They made a movie about it actually too. It was a horror
Yeah.
movie.
Who was in it? A famous actress was in it.
That woman, that actor, Helen Mirren, she was in
Yes.
it. Yes,
Yes.
yes. I was scared to watch the movie.
That place is haunted. I can tell you.
Yes.
That place,
Yes.
I could feel everything. And you know what else is on it is the Queen Mary,
Oh, the
the
boat.
one parked down at Long Beach.
Oh, wow. Oh,
That
interesting.
place is haunted.
Yes. It's interesting in California where it's very young here, well, I mean, young as in population density compared to the
Right.
East Coast. Obviously, the Native American population have lived on for forever. But when you go in California, when you have haunted places, you really notice it because it stands out versus on the East Coast, you can go to just turn
Oh,
around the
like
corner.
up in Nevada too, they have all kinds of haunted, the Silver Saloon and all those
Yes.
places.
Yes. Even the in San Francisco, the Mint building, the old Mint building here is
Uh-huh.
haunted. Where they used to make the money and print the money. They
You're
now have
kidding.
yeah, they have parties there and you can take a tour, but oh my goodness, it's not because people died in the Mint building when they were making money or anything like that. It has to do with they wanted to go and be in the money. Like they wanted to be around all the money and like so
Right.
they
That's the
died somewhere else.
building that stood for the 1906 earthquake, right?
Oh, it's
And it
still
didn't
standing.
catch
Yeah.
fire because it had that, it
Structure.
was hot in there, but they lived.
Yeah. Going back to MLK, I think it's so fascinating. This Renee Good was killed less than a mile away from George Floyd.
A quarter of a
His
mile away from
a
George Floyd.
quarter. Oh wow, even less. Wow, that means it's walking distance. It's like
Yeah.
you, but it's just so interesting karmically, the time, the connection between,
Right.
and maybe I'm forcing it. And even now we're having the past protest the past week in Minnesota.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
And then we have MLK's, birthday last Thursday, but we're celebrating it today. Does he have any messages of hope for this Minnesota
He wants us
protest?
to peaceful protest. That's what I heard
Okay,
really
just
loud.
peaceful
And he
protest.
also wants you to know that this will definitely, it's almost like I'm feeling, not that they give time frames, but I'm feeling soon this will be over with.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I don't know what the Orange Crush is doing, but soon this will be over with.
yeah.
And the other
Astrological. Yeah, go
the
ahead.
other thing is that young woman that was killed
Hmm.
was alive when she finally went to the hospital. She still had a pulse. And you can Google this.
Oh
She
my
was still
gosh.
alive. She died at the hospital.
Oh, I thought she died instantly in the car or like a couple
Mm-mm.
minutes later. Oh
Google
my
it. I was
gosh.
shocked when I found out.
Because isn't there footage of someone wanting to intervene and saying I'm a
Yeah, the
doctor?
doctor said, wouldn't you let me check?" And they wouldn't let him.
Wow.
Oh, and then there was some guy from the Trump administration saying, "Yeah, we're not going to investigate this because he was trying to save his life."
Yeah.
There's no
Oh,
reason to investigate. I don't care who's trying to save your life. Police officers,
yeah.
they take a leave, they
Yeah.
turn in their weapon,
Yeah.
they let
There's a
everybody,
standard.
even though they were justified,
Yeah.
and they're making this up as they go along.
Yeah. Did you see the New York Times did an investigation over the weekend?
No.
Okay, so these reporters took a bunch of videos from folks on the internet, like different vantage points, and they did an analysis. And it just came out this weekend. I'll put the link below for folks who want to see it. It's very rigorous analysis. I think they even went on Anderson Cooper yesterday to talk about it. But basically, the officer, Jonathan Ross, you know how we have a lot of footage of Renee, from angles, but his it kind of gets blurry because he's also behind an officer at one point. So there's this other footage that's kind of from I think a house ring camera type of situation, like far away. And basically, Jonathan Ross, as much, in that footage that was released right away by the Trump administration, you can hear a thud or something like sounds like he's being hit. It's not him being hit, it's his camera hitting the car. And then also the footage from the another house ring light, kind of looking at the scene. They show Jonathan Ross's foot. Both feet are far away from the car, and the
Yes.
gap is growing. And so it's very,
No, we
folks, you
know
should,
what this is, but this guy is probably back in the Philippines with his wife right now. His
yeah,
life is over with.
yeah, it's a very, he's because he's now a political football, like it's one
Yeah.
side's going to talk about it, the other. It's just, yes. Astrologically, this week is pretty intense as well. We
Okay.
just had
What's
the
going on in the
yeah,
planets?
we had the new moon in Capricorn yesterday. I don't know if you felt that. Very
Just
big
football
emotions.
sucked.
The 49ers. So it's funny because it's your fourth house. So you actually might feel more emotionally tender as Libra rising yesterday. But let me share a little bit of it for the astrology of this week. And folks, we're actually going to be talking about Trump's astrology today. So today we're going to be, I know, we're going to be diving into his 2026. And, every astrologer is going to make a different analysis. I'm just going to give you my 2 cents.
Yeah.
But there's a clear story arc of his 2026 of like what he's focusing on in the first half, the second half, and something pivots in July. That's kind of the big month where things sort of shift for him. So, actually, let me go into my little infomercial bit and then we'll go into the astrology of this week and then we'll get into Trump's. So, infomercial bit, folks. If I don't have a channel, but what I do have is a newsletter. So if you want to pull out your phone and use your camera to scan this, you'll be added to my newsletter. I offer a signature reading called the 2025-2026 Paradigm Shift Reading. If you're someone that's had big life events happen the past year, uh, I can help use astrology to help unpack that because in astrology, we have inner planets that change signs a lot, like Venus, Mars, Mercury. They're just zip, zip, zoom all across the chart. And then we have outer planets that barely move, like Uranus, Pluto, Neptune. And so the outer planets are doing something. So we can look at that for you to understand what's happening, but more importantly, what's going to happen next. And then I also offer my calendar. I've because 2026 is a year one and I'm really into numbers, what I'm doing is last week I offered about 50 calendars for the price of 111 instead of 133.33. I'm almost sold out of all of them. So because Linda, your community is so large, like 12 will get sold out, I think, within the hour. What I'm going to do is I'm just opening it up and I'm just going to take orders from now till this time tomorrow. So kind of like 30 hours. If anyone wants to purchase a calendar, just submit it, and then I'll take it for this price, and then I'm going to close it, and then I'm going to go back to the regular price. And I'm going to be using the calendar today to talk about Trump, but I'm also working on a booster video, folks. So this video will come out possibly end of this week, early next, where it's going to help you understand how to unpack the chart, how to make sense of it, especially the colorful parts of the chart talks about the transiting planets and how they move every month and how to work with that. And
That's
we're gonna look at
cool.
that. Yeah, it's very, astrology can feel very, overwhelming, but when you break it down, you can say, oh, this is the part that changes, this is the part that stays the same, and then you can start to make sense of it. So yeah, use the link below in the description to kind of self-book a calendar if you want. So the astrology this week, though, I wanted to talk about it. So we just had a new moon in Capricorn. Very beautiful new moon in Capricorn. So moons in Capricorns aren't the best position. It's considered kind of in its detriment, in its fall in Capricorn. But the other planets did a really cool thing this past weekend. As you can see here, let me actually show it to you here. So this is January. Do you see all these planets are piled up together? We have Mercury, we have Venus, we have the Sun, we have Mars, and they all piled up very close to this new moon that occurred. And
This is
while
for Trump.
this is no, this is the collective.
Okay.
This is the collective energies we're in. This is what happened in particular yesterday with the new moon in Capricorn. And we're in this vibe, so I would say this week has some really strong explosive energy, both with Minnesota, kind of what you're picking up on, but also what we're seeing like in Greenland, what Trump is doing there, and he's kind of
Causing all
ratcheting
the
it up.
countries to gather together.
Yes, it's very, very, very strange there. And so with that, this new moon had some very positive placements. We had great collaboration with Mercury, communication, thinking, Mars, passion, energy, fight, Sun, Moon, Venus relate. There's just nice, they're working together, they're collaborating. And at the same time, there's a sextile here with Neptune and Saturn. They're collaborating again. And then we have this beautiful sextile here with Uranus, disruptive, unconventional, collaborating together, and then a trine. So the planets are working for us this past weekend. They're coming together and they're focusing on something. They're working together and they're focusing. And so this week, folks, Mars is sort of more involved here. Mars and Mercury, 28, 27. The sun is also here, but they're really focused on working together with Saturn and Neptune and Uranus. So, folks, I would say this one might be a week where either it's Minnesota kind of dials up more or Greenland dials up more. I don't feel Iran is going to be a big issue this week. I feel it's really going to be Minnesota and Greenland. Those are the two things that we're going to
Now, what
unpack.
about accidents? Like there was that terrible train
Oh,
accident
I
in Spain.
know, I know. I would probably look at Spain's astrology to get a sense of that. Uranus does rule accidents and surprises, so I would say pay attention to your Uranus placements to understand that. I think it was you or Marianne too who predicted a train
I
accident
have
too.
been predicting a
Yeah.
train.
Yeah. So it's wow. Yeah. That's very, very. So folks, this week is some big energies. Some big energies for collective as well as yeah, also big energies for Trump. This new moon was not good for him. This new moon was happening in his sixth house of health. It was opposing his Venus and Saturn. So there's something about his relationships, trusting allies. He doesn't really know who to turn to. This is starting a 6 month cycle for him. He's feeling more isolated. You know how the Susan Wiles interview kind of like, oh, who does he trust? And showed his inner circle. He's feeling more isolated. Do you have a hit? Go ahead.
No, I just said good.
Yes.
Well, everybody's turning on him,
Yes.
especially the
Everybody's
Congress
turning on
saying
him.
you walk into Greenland, we're impeaching you.
Yes. It's very, goodness gracious. Yes. And it's funny because I was talking with you before this. I feel something is going to happen with Greenland, not boots on the ground military, but I feel business negotiation. There's something with Greenland where it's either some other country wants it because there's some mineral or resource there. Um, and so there might be something negotiated where we don't go to war, but maybe it becomes clear that Greenland is off the table for someone else. Does that make sense? Like there's something around that. Okay.
I don't know. I know that China doesn't want the United States to go in there,
Yeah, China wants the minerals that are in there as
but they're
well.
not talking about taking over Greenland either.
No, but they could do indirect things. You know how China gives donations or fundraising to countries and then they
Well,
in
and the
exchange
other
get
thing is,
minerals.
let me just throw this out
Yeah.
there, you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
It has been the EU has made very clear you step into Greenland to try to do a hostile takeover, we will close all your bases
Yeah.
because the United States has a lot of bases there,
Yeah.
and we'll call in the debt due. So apparently, we owe
Yes.
trillions of
Yes.
money, and they call that in, and the United States will
Stock
crash.
market will go down. Yeah. I remember reading that and that will hurt Trump more because he's so connected to the financial aspect and the
So,
prestige
I
of it.
mean, he's got to take this into consideration before doing something stupid. But, he had a big stroke a few months ago. So,
Mm, yes, I know. And we also notice his movements. His face was kind of off at the September 11th memorial. Even his dancing was off
yeah.
asymmetrically. So it was, yeah, the writing
And
was
he's
on the
taking
wall.
325 milligrams of aspirin instead of a baby. And he's doing that because he had a stroke and he's scared. But he's going to hurt himself more with the 325.
Yeah. And remember, he was talking about death and dying a bit too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he knew he was at death's door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an interesting thing that I think a lot of folks are not talking about with Trump, which is he's a triple lame duck president. So he's a lame duck president because he is only going to be president once. Like this is his one term. So he's coming in he can't run for reelection. That's one level. He's a secondary lame duck president because the polls are so loud right now that he is not going to win the midterms. Midterms is almost a year away, 10 months away, but it's so loud, the numbers, because of the special elections for governors that happened in November and, the mayoral candidates. Like the writing is on the wall. They're doing poll after poll to try to figure out if they can make it work a different way. But it's like, House a landslide, Senate is kind of the question mark
And
if
we'll
that
win
will.
the Senate. I don't
Oh,
care who says maybe.
you
We're
think
going to
that
win the
the
Senate. I
Democrat?
see.
See,
Yeah.
that's what I feel too. I feel it's a clean sweep of both. Like
And
maybe
part
it's
of what's going to happen is our if, economy is going to take a hit.
yeah, yeah,
And you can't feed people, or you're as it is. He's taken away people being able to have health care.
yeah.
You can't take care of your children. He's going.
Yeah, there's some folks, we're gonna get into the astrology, but something happens in July. Something we're on a timeline now, for a while, and then something pivots in April. Like, oop, where were we? And then something really turns in July. And so that I
In
just think
his
it's
chart.
his chart, but everyone else's too.
Ooh.
Yes, this is we're collective. Again, we're collective, but we're interconnected. We're also individually having our own experiences. But going back to Trump being a triple lame duck president. So he's a lame duck because this is his only term. He can't run again. He's a lame duck because the midterm numbers are so loud. And then he's a third lame duck, and I never considered this, but this is a new paradigm we're in, is his health. His energy is waning. He's falling asleep in meetings. We've never had a president that visibly is declining the way he is. He's scrambling words. He's misremembering details. He was on a plane last week with, oh my gosh, Senator Graham, Lindsey Graham, and he told a story to Lindsey Graham, and then 10 seconds later, or 20 seconds later, he forgot he already told the story to him, or some detail. Like, did you listen? Did you know? It was like so strange.
Yeah.
So he's a triple lame duck president, and I remember when Obama was in his lame duck phase, he wanted to put a Supreme Court nominee, that guy, Merrick Garland. And then the Republicans fought him on, like, and then he wanted to get justice, other kind of federal court judges in, and they blocked him. And so now Trump is in those shoes where he's this triple lame duck president because of he can't run again, even though he's trying to pretend maybe he could. He can't win the midterms, but he's like, okay, maybe we don't need midterms. And then his health, and I'm surprised. I think I underestimated the health thing, but I think people sense that. I think
Yeah.
people
Oh,
sense
I don't
that.
think he's going to last till the end of 26.
No, yeah, no, astrologically too. It's we'll get into that. There's some health things that are on the horizon for him. But even when he went into Venezuela and he was talking up this big storm of, oh, oil companies will go in. And then the oil companies said
No.
no. And I think, can you pull some cards on this? Does the oil companies know his health is not because
Oh,
okay,
yeah. They all know. Are you kidding?
so I work in tech, I work in R&D in tech, and one of my clients was a top private equity company. I'm not going to tell you who, but it was a top private equity company. And they had a lot of projects on the side. They had so much money. They had a lot of projects. Like they would do creative things. Like they researched every person who ever worked for them, what their career was after they worked for them for the past 5 decades. So they could get a sense of who was the best employee and who had the best career at their company after their company. But they also did some woo-woo stuff. And so I wouldn't be surprised if some of these oil companies know either from hard data about his medical records or intuitively with psychics. So what do you think? Do the oil companies know that
Yeah,
he's
but
not?
the oil companies are they know where the money is, and it's not with Venezuela crude oil. They're not going to go out there and spend all that money to drill or in a country that's getting ready to implode again. There's
Hmm.
going to be some takeovers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got too bad about that young woman that gave her award, and now she's blocked from ever get. And they want their $11 million back.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Trump, and now he's definitely going to take Greenland because it's Greenland's fault. I just heard people are trying to tell him not to take Greenland.
No,
People within his administration.
yeah. He's gonna lose MAGA if he goes after
Oh yeah,
Greenland. Yeah.
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 And then he's done.
He's done. Yep.
So you want to know what?
I wanted to know, do the oil companies know Trump is
Yeah,
leaving?
and they're not going to. They may give a little more money to him, but they're not just to keep him off their backs. But they're not going in
Yeah.
because
They're placating him.
they know it's too. It's not trustworthy.
It's not trustworthy. Yeah. So interesting. So I think this his health waning, the midterm numbers, the fact he's a one president, he's this triple lame duck president, and so he just can't get that much done. So tomorrow will be the 1 year anniversary of a Trump presidency. We've had him for about a year. I'm curious if he'll do some sort of victory lap tomorrow of all the things he accomplished. But I don't know how much he's going to be able to do after this because of just also physically he doesn't look that strong. Like that communicates stuff even to the MAGA base. They want to see this strong leader type of thing. And when he's falling asleep in meetings, that's gonna the optics hurt them.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Okay, let's go into Trump's astrology. So we're talking about it. Let's just go into it and unpack it. So, folks, let me go ahead and share this. Um, There we go. So, folks, I'm going to share Trump's astrology through the calendar. So, through the lens of the calendar. And when you have the calendar yourself, or when you're seeing this, the color wedges talk about where the transiting planets move in a month. And then we look at that information of where a planet moved and we layer it across two other things. We layer it across the numerical house, and then we layer it across his natal placements. And when you're early on your journey, you just want to know where the transiting planets happen in a numerical house. So, for example, Linda, when eclipse season happened last September, October, it was happening in your 6th and 12th house, which are health houses. So that's an interpretation you can make. So that's just level one. And then level two is a transiting planet aspecting a natal placement, a moon, or etc. And that's when you can make a second type of analysis. So Trump's 2026. It has clear moments. Actually, let me stop sharing this and let me share this one instead. Where is it? There we go. Okay. So when it comes to Trump's 2026, there's a clear story that emerges. It seems he has a health event or a focus on health for the first 6 months of 2026. So if he can get past the first 6 months, I would say he's not worried about health as much. He's worried about other things. He actually has his birthday month in June is very auspicious for him. He has a really good, really good things happening. So it seems the January is rough. This new moon that happened on Capricorn on Sunday was pretty rough for him. February is rough as well. There's a beautiful cosmic event happening for everyone. It's very positive, but it's happening in a part of his chart that's hard for him naturally. It's happening in the ninth house, which is kind of traditionally opposing Gemini energies. April starts to get better for him. Something starts to move. June is his best month. So, folks, if we feel Trump is winning, 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 it's going to be June, and then it's gonna wane a bit more. July is a big thing where something shifts and changes, and it seems like he goes too far. So maybe he kind of gets big in the head from June, like everything is working in his favor, and then in July he bites off too much. September, he's really tired and fatigued and maybe even retreats. October, he lashes out and does something too much. November, same thing. He's just doing too much, wanting to fight. And so, folks, as I'm going to talk about Trump's 2026, I want you to think of it like he has multiple on ramps and off ramps. So when we see some negative astrological events, that could be him either having a health event or him leaving office altogether in terms of what we're seeing. And so when we're seeing something here in November, him lashing out, this could be him in presidency lashing out or him not being president anymore and lashing out from, his padded cell or wherever he is.
Right,
Think
right.
of that. So I know folks are like, oh, when is he leaving? Astrology helps you understand broad themes and helps like if tomorrow is going to be a hot day or a windy day, astrology is not as effective when it comes to understanding if tomorrow is going to be, 70 degrees Fahrenheit or 13 miles per hour. So the new moon was really hard for Trump, very, very hard in terms of that where it was located. It was opposing his Venus and Saturn. We go into February, and February is also a bit more difficult for him. A lot of planets are moving into his seventh house of partnerships. So he's having a focus of working and playing well with others. And he doesn't work well and play well with others. There's some sort of focus there of alliances and contracts and working with others. And then it's moving into his eighth house of shared resources. It seems astrologically, Greenland will be the focus for the next like 4 to 6 weeks. And then I would say it's not going to be his focus anymore. So just keep that in mind, folks. I mean, yeah, it actually might go a little bit into March, but it's not really advantageous astrology. He has this beautiful moment that everyone's going to experience where Neptune and Saturn are going to conjunct 0 degree Aries. That's in his ninth house of seeking knowledge, seeking truth. So this is not about his knowledge and truth, but it's more about other people's and experts. He's going to be asked to rely on experts, and that's not natural for him. He's having a lot of planets pile up in the seventh and eighth. And then we have this new moon. Let me find it. This new moon that's happening close to his Pluto. Sorry, a full moon that's happening close to his Pluto. So he's having to end a cycle of power. Does that make sense? Like some sort of ending of that Pluto power in different ways. So January, February, not that great. March, I would say same, same. April, things start to pick up.
Hey,
Planets
can I
moving.
mention something
For
else?
sure. Yeah.
You know that movie that his wife did that Bezos paid 40
Oh, yeah, the
some million?
documentary.
Nobody, he can't give away tickets.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a humiliation and embarrassment.
Yes.
He
It's
actually, if he cares about anyone, it's how his wife looks because that's how he looks.
yeah, an extension, a narcissistic thing. Yes, the optics of it. I wouldn't be surprised if they buy a theater out or something just to make it look like they sold more than they did. But also it could be just kind of a grift, like, hey Bezos, if you're willing to pay me 40 million, I'll do it, like was it was 40 million, right? That's how much she was
$45
paid.
million. Dollars, and he Bezos gets on his knees and kissed the royal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he said he would do it for her, and it's going nowhere. And people are saying when they're at the theater to watch something else that it's beautiful because the crowds in the theater when they're little short
Oh, the
advert,
trailer. Yeah.
they start screaming boo.
Oh, oh my gosh. Yeah, she's that I don't know. Yeah, I think that's something I probably watch when it comes on demand, like on Prime, just to see, how bad or how good it, or not good, or how awful it was. But that's not something I would pay my own money to watch.
No.
So January, February, not that great. April is not as things get better. June is his best month. June is very auspicious for him. He has his son, it's his birthday month. He has Mars in his 10th house of career reputation. He's got Venus in his first house. He has transiting Jupiter on top of his Venus. So if he makes it to June, he has a new beginning emerging for him, a new idea, a new plan, possibly a new economic plan. Like, oh, I have an idea to save the economy. So, I mean, goodness gracious, the economy has to be pretty bad in June for him to kind of feel all inspired to make a new idea. But it feels like he can't maybe fake it too about the economy. He can't keep saying inflation's down. He has a new idea. There's something new vision that's implanting in him. July, he bites off more than he can chew. He kind of goes a bit too far. We have Jupiter, this planet of expansion. Everything is possible. Close, it will conjunct his sun, and these energies will happen pretty close to his Pluto. Pluto is a power of death and destruction. What must die so new things can be born, transformation. It's also your manifestor planet, but it seems like he kind of gets like a mad king. Does that make sense? Like a King George, or if you watch Game of Thrones, the Mad King that emerged there. And I'm curious if you want to pull cards for his July, because there seems to be something he goes too far. He has, let me look real quick. Yeah, karmic new beginning with Saturn. He'll have Sun conjunct Saturn, and also that new moon happens really close to his Saturn. There seems to be some, he goes too far, and there's a sense of pressure or constraint happening to him. And everyone, folks, July is a big event because we also have Jupiter opposite Pluto and this thing with Uranus and Neptune. But I'm curious, Linda, do you want to pull cards for Trump's July? Like, what's the
Okay.
energies of his July? Because everyone's going to have this pivot in July, but what will be his pivot?
Okay.
And you know what's funny too? Because July is the 250th anniversary of America.
Oh,
And we in theory left King George because he was the Mad King at that time. So again, another karmic thing. Like we're having this Mad King moment as well. So we're pulling
yeah.
3 cards on Trump's July.
Okay, let's check it out. When you say three cards, it reminds me of
Oh,
Violetta.
members.
Violetta too.
Oh,
Oh, there might be a drop in the economy or something with money. He may be thinking of getting out of Dodge.
Oh, wow.
A cycle reverses and a woman's part of this.
Oh, wow.
Interesting. What's going to happen in July? Let's try three more just in
Yeah,
case.
money's on his mind in June. So it seems like something happens with the economy very clearly by June. But July, he does something too far. He just goes too
He
far,
does
overcorrects too far.
go too far all the
Yeah.
time. People gathering together, the sun is reversed and the karmic star is reversed. So what
Mm,
he thought would be is no longer going to happen.
yep.
Look at this, the cycle will change.
Yep. That's July.
And groups of people are against him.
Hmm. Oh, I wonder if there's no King's protest on July 4th.
Could be. And also, you could have some terrorist action taking place, and people will
Oh,
be mad at him for some reason.
okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so your cards match what the astrology says too.
Yeah, yeah.
This pivot point. Um, so funny. It's almost like America like is like trying to shake off this flea type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, moving into his other months for his astrology. August continues it a little bit. July is the big pivot point, though. I would folks be aware of that. And then we're moving into September, and he has Mars going into his 12th house. And out of all the 12 houses, the 12th house represents the non-3D world. So when you have transits in the 12th house, you can't access the energy here in this 3D world. And Mars is his energy, his fight. And so, folks, in September, we probably are either going to hear less of Trump or we're going to be like, where is he? He could maybe be having a medical thing and he has to kind of rest, like surgery or something like that. But he's kind of going to go away a bit in terms of in September, he'll feel very, very tired. We'll hear less of him. But then in October, look at this. We have transiting Mars on top of his Pluto. He's really angry. This is kind of that Mad King energy we're getting again. Um, really angry. A lot of he wants to be seen as very vital. So it could be he had a health event in September, and he's trying to show that he's like has a lot of energy. He's
Or
he
maybe all the news about the midterms is coming in and he's going to lose by a landslide.
yes, and it seems like when he's getting news he doesn't like to hear, he's
Yeah,
overacting. He's doing too much.
yeah.
Like
And
he's
I think the courts will work against him. He'll try to come up with these, as it was, he was trying to change voting stuff, and the court said, no, you can't do
yeah.
that.
This is kind of like manic energy, like go do over this and run over there and do this. There seems to be a bit of that happening in October, and then it really comes to a head in November. So look at this.
Ooh,
Look at this.
midterms.
Midterms, yes. It's so funny how astrology works like this. Okay, look at this. We have transiting Mars on top of his natal Mars. So Mars is your fight, like no, I don't want it. That's like pounding your hand on the table. And then it's on top of his Mars. So he's angry, but he also feels ready to fight. Really, like it's a fight to the death, which again, if he loses the midterms, he will be impeached. So this is a fight to the death. At the same time, we have Jupiter. Jupiter is expansive, everything is possible, it amplifies it. So it's basically expanding all of this, and it happens on his Mars. So he's just angry, mad king, wanting to do everything. While all this is happening, we have South Node here. And in astrology, South Node is the thing that the universe is asking you to let go of. It's saying, hey, let this go and focus on something else, which is the North Node. And so while all this is happening, this amplification of Mars on top of Mars, Jupiter on top of Mars, there's going to be a point, Linda, where transiting Jupiter will be very close to transiting Mars on top, like all three of them will be completely aligned. And I'll put the date in the closest date in the description below because watch it. That's when, his secretary needs to not have his Twitter near him or something like that. He's just going to be
Crazy.
yelling, angry. Yeah, just do you remember when Obama won the election 2012? Um Trump went onto Twitter and he just started yelling and oh my gosh and all this, that's kind of that. He's going to have a Twitter rant on this or Truth Social rant. But the universe is asking him to let it go. The universe is asking to let go all of this. So so he's very angry and there's some sort of continuation of whatever happens in November in December as well. He's still in it. See, we have Jupiter retrograding on top of that Mars. So this was Jupiter was direct. So he's still stuck in it in November. Whatever happened, it's still like a thorn in his side. He's still
He
focusing.
lost.
Yeah.
He lost.
Astrologically,
If
that's
he's
a
still
very much
alive by then, he lost.
yes. So it's funny here because when this happens, he either could be not president and he's just yelling at his team, like, you should have listened to me. Oh my goodness, goodness. Or he could be president and this is just his, like, well, we're going to call, martial law and we're going to suspend the election midterms. This could be that. Or he could just be on the other side. This could
Yeah.
be his interpretation. So we don't really know. These are the multiple interpretations that could possibly be. But in terms of Trump, I would say the first 6 months is health. June is his best month, but there seems to be some economy. There's something with money on his mind, and a new idea with money. And
Okay.
July is a pivot point for him, but also everyone, folks. So folks, keep that in mind. We're having a nice timeline jump. A reset happened in July, and then and then some retreat in September. But then the anger, that Mad King. I want folks to think of Mad King energy is what we're seeing the second half of 2026. And that is Trump's astrology. I have an idea, Linda. Do you want to pull cards about how Trump is feeling in November, his November energies?
November.
Yes.
How is Trump feeling in November after the voting? Well, before when he lost, he was mad kinging, doing Twitter and crazy talk. So that makes sense. November. What happens in November?
It's so beautiful because that means America has to choose not the Mad King. We're in that same cycle.
He puts himself in his own prison, or he's not feeling very well. Judgment is against him. Could even
People,
be some lawsuits going on. There's no celebration, it's reversed. And this is his card. So,
wow.
yeah, he's not able to move forward. He's being cut off at the pass.
Wow. So, folks, I know the past couple weeks of January of 2026 have been pretty intense.
I know. And it's going to get more intense.
It's going to get more intense. Even astrologically, folks, it seems collectively we're kind of in this energy till March. So it's going to be like this song is going to keep playing, whatever this song we're on, and then in April someone changes the record. We're in a whole new vibe. So it's like we're in a country album now, and now we're going to be in some jazz album or something in April. Something new really emerges very quickly in April. A lot of positive energy in Aries, forward movement. So folks, keep on, as things are happening with Trump. Just know in April things are pivoting, and both with astrology and Linda, your tarot. This
So,
is the energy.
generally,
Yeah.
for everyone,
Hmm.
not Trump,
Yeah.
anything we should do this month or
You know,
February?
I love that you asked. February. Something really cool happens in February.
What?
So, okay, okay, and a lot of astrologers talk about this. So, Andre will talk about it. Other astrologers you invite will talk about it. So, a beautiful thing happens in February, which is on February 20th. And February 20th, transiting Neptune will conjunct transiting Saturn, 0 degrees of Aries. And in astrology, the zodiac wheel starts at Aries and then it goes all the way to Pisces. So 0 degrees Aries, whenever we have events happen there, it's considered you're going to have starting a whole new cycle. And the collective, everyone's experiencing this. We're all having Saturn and Neptune conjunct 0 degrees Aries. And so let me talk about Saturn and Neptune. Saturn is very pragmatic. It's the father, disciplined, be conservative, be pragmatic, delay gratification, eat your veggies, and then dessert. That's Saturn's energies. Neptune is not like Saturn. Neptune is very dreamy, very fantastical, very visionary. Neptune, I would often say, is like Disney magic. Like, of course, a broom would fetch pails of water. Of course, Tinkerbell is this high. So when they both are here together, I often say there's a dialogue between two, where Saturn sort of looks at Neptune and says, okay, Neptune, you have all these fantastical ideas and dreams. Let's pick one and let's make a plan. So when they both are here together, they have a whole bold new vision for your future. And so when this happens at 0 degrees Aries, so folks, you want to pay attention to where Aries is in your chart. Is it in your ninth house of seeking knowledge and education, your fourth house of home, your first house of self? And for
What is
you,
it in
Linda,
my house?
I know we're both Libra risings. It's our seventh house of partnership. And
Oh,
so when we have this beautiful reset moment happens at 0 degrees, we are having a spiritual reset in terms of how we relate to that Aries numerical house theme. So for you and I, we're both Libra risings. We're having a reset of partnerships. And this is so spiritually cosmic. I don't even know how to describe this, but it's like you're going to shake off ancestral baggage, reset
right.
type of stuff, and you're also going to shake off past life baggage. This is a really beautiful turning of the page of your Aries themes. So for you and I, we're Libra risings. We are having a whole new journey. We're ending the cycle and we are starting a new cycle when it comes to partnering with other people. And partnerships can be romantic partners, it could be business partners, it could be, BFFs, but we are turning the page of how we intermingle and connect with people and have intimacy with people and how we show up for people and how they show up for us. And we're ending those past cycles where people maybe didn't show up for us or we showed up too much or they showed up too little. We're saying, okay, we're now ready to do this lesson again. And it's very beautiful for folks. But
Oh,
just everyone pay attention to where Aries is in your chart. It happens February 20th. Powerful with those Aries placements. And if your sun is in Aries, there's an aspect of you. You're having a whole new identity of you. If Venus is there, it has to do with your money. So just pay attention to which numerical house Aries is and also which natal placements are happening. I know a lot has happened the past 2 weeks, but I feel very hopeful for 2026. A lot
good.
of things are
More towards the
changing.
middle and on.
Yes, you just got to get to the middle, and then really July is a whole new world. Yeah, awesome.
I think even if something happens and he has another stroke, they may try to keep him like they're not going to tell people right away.
Yeah,
I
they're gonna
feel
hide
like
it.
they'll maybe even JD Vance takes over a little bit,
I
but
think so. You think they would tell us like 2 days later or something like that?
yeah,
Like,
I'm almost feeling we don't get the whole story. As it is, we didn't get the whole story that he had a stroke.
yeah, I know. Yeah,
I just feel like they'll try to hide it, but we all know something's up.
yeah, yeah. Even JD Vance is just such a he'll try to hold on to
But
power.
he's hated worse than Trump.
I know. I heard there's a lot of poll numbers that came out this past week about Vance, about Trump, about the Gen Z males are very anti-Trump and Vance. So,
What was Vance's numbers?
very low, very low. They're almost the kind of there was a major poll that came out actually 2 weeks ago where the youth vote evaluated both Trump, Vance, Democrats, and Republicans in Congress, House and Senate, and they were just against Republicans as a whole. So they were
Wow.
very
But
very.
was Vance below 30?
I don't remember the numbers for that, but I just know they both were
He
detested.
was like 27% there for a while.
Yeah, I know. It's such a swing in less than a year. How much it changed for both of them. So, folks, I know it's kind of hard to look at the news, both to see the stuff that's happening in Minnesota and sending prayers to
And
those
if you can't
protesters.
handle it, turn the TV off.
Yeah,
Don't watch psychics. Don't watch anything. Some lady said, I can hardly take it anymore. And I said, honey, just turn it all off and breathe and
yeah,
take a rest. Don't, it's okay. But know that there's hope
yeah,
and it's going to be okay. Just like Martin Luther King just said to me,
yeah.
all this will change.
All this will pass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Linda, for having me. Really appreciate it.
Thank
And I'll
you,
come back in
girlfriend.
about a couple weeks to talk about February's astrology. So we'll go
Okay,
into it
cool.
deeper. Awesome.
Well, stay on because I'll get the calendar.
Okay, great.